Welcome to the Redirect Podcast. My name is Abigail Freshley.
And I'm Emily Rojas. The Redirect Podcast is a show where we shift the conversation back to books. We discuss themes from some of our favorite books and how those themes show up in our real lived experiences.
On today's episode, we are throwing it back, reading rewind to the Magic Treehouse books by Mary Osborne.
But first, before we get into that, if you are enjoying the show, we would love for you to support the podcast in a few simple ways. First, you can go on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave us a 5-star review and let us know how much you love the show.
You can also follow us on Instagram and Blue Sky at Redirect Podcast. And if you really, really love the show, share our show with a friend. Sharing our show with a friend is by far the best way to help us grow our community of book-loving nerds.
Yay!
Yay!
We're back.
Okay. I'm just looking at the outline here. What is personal news from Emily?
Okay, this is really exciting. So last week we actually didn't talk about this, but I did.
I'm like nervous. Like, I don't know what this news is. And you're one of my best friends.
Okay, this is news to tell you, really. Okay, so last week we talked about our goals, or 2 weeks ago. And there was one goal of mine that I didn't mention, but I have now achieved, which is I have a library card.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And I needed to tell you, and I'm no longer a hypocrite.
I actually have tears coming to the back of my eyes.
As you should. I did it.
What was that experience like? So you had to go in person?
Yes.
To
the library.
You can bleep it out if you don't want people to know. Cobb County Library.
Yeah, Cobb County Library. The library near me is super cool. I will say, like, genuinely, I know it's lame, but it is sometimes really hard for me to do things where I don't know what the rules are going to be and like where to park and who do I talk to. And so anyways, I went in, they were super nice. I got a library card, and also libraries are amazing, which I already knew. But also, if you guys haven't been to a library in a while, they have these self-checkout things now that are so cool. You just stack the books up and it just knows what's there.
Yeah.
Amazing. So they also have like great books. So yeah, I checked out a few.
And now you can be free to check out whatever you want without your mom seeing it.
Exactly. No longer have to share an account with my mom on Libby. Although this library gives less checkouts and less holds than the one my mom and I shared. So might still sneak over there every once in a while. But
sure.
The in-person selection was great. Like so many books that probably have month-long waiting lists on Libby are just there. So you guys go get a library card. Go to the library in person.
It is the same in LA.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, okay, wait, let me just go on the website and check and see if it's actually there.
Yeah. And there it is.
That is so exciting. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
And now you also, the magic of the library also is you have a third location.
Yes. A space to
it's
go.
A place you can go when you want to just like be really quiet or like great air conditioning, or they have events or I don't know. Sometimes it's just like you want the vibe of leaving your house to go to a coffee shop, but you don't want to spend money.
Spend money? There you go.
Welcome to the library.
Totally.
There's nothing to buy at the library.
There's nothing to buy.
Literally $0.
Yes. And great news. My library checks out puzzles, which I was really excited to find out. And
I want my library to do that.
It's amazing. They had like a whole full row of puzzles. So I have a backlog of puzzles currently, but I will be, checking back in once I need more puzzles to complete. So yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Wow, that is amazing personal news.
Thank you. Thank you. I almost texted you. I was like, no, I want to save this for the podcast.
I know. There's like several things unrelated to the actual content of this episode I can't wait to tell you.
That
I've been saving. But this one I did tell you a little bit, but I guess personal news for me.
Yeah, sure.
Is I finally got my husband, Zachary Freshley, to read The Will of the Many by James Islington. And
yes.
Chat.
How's it going?
It was extremely satisfying.
Did he finish it already?
Oh, he finished it.
Oh, wow.
And we spent a lot of time of like him. First of all, he like borrowed my Kindle to read it. He was like reading it on his phone. And then he was like, wait, hold on. I gotta get serious about this. So he borrowed my Kindle. I was like doing a puzzle and listening to an audiobook. And then like every few minutes I would hear, or no. And he loved it. And then he was like, can you see about the other series? Have you already pre-ordered the next book? So basically,
so you guys are going to be fighting when that book comes out over who gets to read
I just
it
said
first.
we're ordering two copies. Whatever. But I felt so justified. There's nothing like I have been begging him to read this book for a year because I have known that he would love it. And he just was like, too much work. Meanwhile, he reads like 500,000 words a day on fan fiction on
look. In his defense, I do feel like, I don't know why, but reading on AO3 is different than reading a book. The effort.
Yeah, meanwhile,
mentally.
he's just like always on his little phone reading fan fiction, whatever. So he finally read this book. And wow, I just, I was like, all right, well, I deserve right now to hear for like 10 minutes effusive praise on the way that I was right about this and that you were wrong for waiting so long to read it. So maybe less exciting, but
no, that's
equally
great
exciting
news.
to me.
No, that's
personal
great
news.
That
won.
book to me is like such a Zach book. So the fact that he wouldn't read it until now, but good for him because he gets to finish that and know that in like just a few months he can read the sequel versus
jealous.
like a full year that we had to wait. So,
by the way, he was like, "Can I come on the podcast to talk about the next one?"
Oh, absolutely.
And I was like,
if you read it in
sure.
time, yeah, you have to read it in time. That's the key. Okay,
Anyway.
Great personal news on all fronts, on all accounts.
Yes.
So exciting.
Is this just going to be like actually a book talk episode?
Well, somewhat, because I do feel like the reading rewinds, like they don't take as much time, so we can beef it up with some more. There's so much to talk about in the book world, so that's what it is. Yeah.
Okay. The next bullet here on our outline: Renesmee book baiting by Stephanie Meyer 20th anniversary.
She's baiting us. That's why it says book baiting.
So
she knows
a little
what she's
context
doing.
here.
She knows what she's doing. Yes.
You and I actually looked into going to this event.
We did.
But it's been sold out.
We did. Because we also predicted a Renesmee. If this happens, play it back. Once the announcement happens, play back our prediction when she updated her website. There is a quote on, so she has like a new website now. And there's a quote on the website that is not, there's like several quotes all over the website as part of the design. And they're all from books that she has published, most of them from the Twilight and Twilight adjacent books, some from like The Host. But there's one quote that does not exist currently in any of her published books. And we predicted earlier this year, I think, or at the end of last year, that this quote would be in a yet to be released Jacob and Renesmee book. It is the 20th anniversary. She's announced every like major anniversary. She's announced a new book to this point. She did Life and
Gender
Death,
Bent.
yeah,
and then she did Midnight
Sun. And so we're here.
The quote is, "I'm going to be wherever you are. You'll get used to it."
Like, what else could that be? People.
Also, I just want to say to the people who cross-verified that these quotes were not in her existing work.
Great work. Thank you for doing that. I love you so much. I would never.
I love you so much. And you are the kind of person that's really important.
You are
to
the
me.
chosen one. Yeah.
Because you are actually holding our society together with like glue and scotch tape. You are the reason I get up every day. Thank you for your work.
So now there's a new development, which is that Stephanie Meyer has officially announced that she will be at Twilight Con.
Wait. Hold on. Yeah, you're skipping something important. Is that it's on September 11th. Literally, what a better day for a Jacob and Renesmee book to be announced than on
9/11.
The anniversary of 9/11.
And canonically, the more things I find out that are canon, like Carlisle being in his 20s, this is another horrifying one. That canonically Renesmee's birthday is 9/11, which is insane. Like, you control this world. You made this.
Do you know that it's legal for it to not be on 9/11?
So,
do you know that, like, if you called up the organizers of the Twilight Fest and you were like, "Hey, can we do this not on 9/11?" They'd be like, "Sure, Queen.
Yeah, no, but
we can do it on another
like,
weekend."
Like, no, she made Renesmee's birthday 9/11. She did that. For some reason. So anyways, I believe
She's
it now.
She's a sick person. Can I say this?
Yeah.
I was explaining this to Zach the other day.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if there's a Jacob and Renesmee book, will you read it? And he was like, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
that's the correct
But anyways,
reaction.
I was showing him TikToks. I was explaining this to him. And then we saw like a recent headshot of Stephanie Meyer. And he was like, hold up. Who's Shorty? And I was like, that is Stephanie Meyer. And he was like, let me see what she's talking about really quick. I'm like, you're not allowed to have a crush on Stephanie
that's
Meyer.
insane. I'm sorry, Zach.
You know that's crazy. Right? He's like, I don't know. Like, she's kind of got it going on. And I'm like,
please, God.
She's a sick person.
Like, the whole thing is, I don't know why she would willingly write a Jacob and Renesmee spinoff. I don't know why she would choose to engage in that discourse that she already created in an insane way. But will I read it?
Why does she choose to do anything?
I don't know. I will read it, though. I will read it.
I will pay money for it. I'll be there. I'll be reading it.
We will recap it on this but like, I don't want to. I don't want to do it, you know? Like,
do you think, okay, if there is a Jacob and Renesmee book, do you think that it's going to pick up like after the events of Breaking Dawn, or do you think it's going to be like a flash forward? Like, are we going to have like kid Renesmee?
I can't.
Jacob content?
I don't know. So like in the canon world, again, Renesmee will be. Here's my thing: she'll be fully grown within 2 to 3 years. But like, are like, so you're dating a 3-year-old? Because just because physically and mentally, I guess she's fully, but like she's 3. Like, is that chill? But like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. It makes me sick. It makes me sick because you know what? She could have just like done something interesting with Leah, who's like a tragic figure who deserves to be happy. But instead, she made Jacob imprint on Renesmee. I don't see how this is chill. I don't see how she writes it in a way that is not very problematic, but
it's gonna be horrifying.
I do look forward to reading it, so I'm sorry.
Well, now I'm gonna be so disappointed if it doesn't happen.
It's too bad that Ali Hazelwood already released Problematic Summer Romance, because that would have made a really good title for this. I know.
I'm so scared. And then like, also, are we gonna get like Edward dad content?
Honestly, that excites me.
Wait, Stephanie Meyer, if you're listening, if you haven't already included like a lot of Charlie content, that would be the thing that
could
would
save me. Yeah,
this could redeem the book.
Yeah,
if we could get, oh my god, what if we got like a Charlie and Sue subplot?
I'd be happy with that.
Why don't you just release a Charlie and Sue Clearwater novel?
That'd be like a novella. Doing just even a short novella.
I would eat that up.
Or again, because like give
Charlie is one of the only people in this universe who deserves
normal.
happiness.
Yes, totally agree. Yes. So do that.
For more thoughts on our thoughts about the Twilight universe, see several previous episodes regarding it.
I know we've done we did
Life and Death,
we did
Twilight.
We did Twilight. I was thinking like, what could we do for the 20th anniversary? But if she does announce a book, that's what we'll do. We got that. Like like we love Twilight in a hateful way, but
what if we existed in a timeline in a few months when we got a Jacob and Renesmee book and either, well, I guess Direct TV does not exist, but
debut.
We got TS12.
Yes.
And Jacob Renesmee book at the same time. You know what I mean?
That's all happening. Do you think if she announces it, she's going to announce it and then it comes out like immediately? Or do you think it's going to be a lead up?
That would be so chaotic of her that maybe she would. Just like immediate.
Like,
okay,
there will be
now
no
it's available.
It's available tomorrow. There will only be Renesmee and Jacob's sequel.
Wait, okay. What would it be called?
It's gonna be something dumb. So we have Midnight Sun, we have Life and Death, we have Twilight. It's probably something culturally offensive and
let me see if Google has any, or if like Reddit has any ideas.
The Wolf and His Girl, you know.
Predictions for name of Jacob Renesmee. It's going to be something, whatever
Again,
we could think of, it would be worse.
Correct. It will be bad.
Wait.
I'm scared.
Will it be Omegaverse?
She's not nearly interesting enough to do that. Like, it's not going to be good. Sorry. Not that, like, it would be good if it was Omegaverse, but imagine she reveals that. She's like, actually, the werewolves all along have been part of.
Wait, and also, would this book be set in, like, 2008?
Right. I don't see how there is a massive time jump, because what plot, unless it's like they're in an established relationship, but like the whole line, I'm gonna be wherever you are, you'll get used to it, that feels like it has to be them falling in love for the first time. So there can't be too much of a time jump because he's just always going to be there. Like, that's the whole deal. So I don't know. I'm stressed out.
I feel like hot right now.
I know. I feel really uncomfortable.
Like a little bit nervous. Okay.
Let's get into the Magic Treehouse.
Yeah. So we were like, okay, we haven't done a
Rewind.
reading rewind in a while.
Totally.
And yeah. So Emily, what is your history with the Magic Treehouse books? Do you have any history? What is their context?
Yeah, I definitely read these books as a kid.
Like how many do you think? There are 110.
Probably all of the original series. So there's the original series, then there's the Merlin mysteries, then there's like some other spinoffs, and then there's some nonfiction books. I don't think I've read any of the nonfiction ones. But the original series, which I think is like 28 or so, I'm sure I've read all of those.
Okay.
And the Merlin ones, I do remember especially liking those. They're a little longer. I started one of the Merlin ones for this episode. But I do remember especially liking like when they went to Camelot and like we're working with the Merlin and Morgan Le Fay. And so I remember like I really, really liked those. And I remember liking the regular series, all right. But they're quite young. I was probably very young reading them because the reading level is very basic. So yeah, that's my experience with them. I remember loving them. Yeah. What about you?
Well, I think I read a few of them, maybe like a couple. I don't know. There was always kids in my class and in my peer group reading them. I mean, I'm sure that I read a few. Did they make a huge impression on me? No, they did not.
Okay.
But I was basically coming back to it with like adult eyes.
Sure.
Reading. And so I picked up the first and the second one. So that's Dinosaurs Before Dark and the Night Before Dawn. Night, Knight.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought it was I get it. They are really cute and fun.
Yeah.
And there's like a couple of things going on. So like reading it as an adult, it's like, the message here is like, maybe they weren't actually going to all these places. It's just the magic of reading a book can make you feel.
Sure.
So yeah, for those of you who don't know, Jack and Annie are a brother and sister duo. Jack is a king. He is smart. He is responsible.
Yes.
And Annie is all on that bullshit. She is classic youngest sibling.
Correct.
Always being a pain, making irresponsible decisions. Jack, my heart goes out to you. That was the number one thing that came out to me as I was like, God, Annie, like, just like listen to your brother. He's saying maybe
just
don't run at the dinosaur.
Correct.
I'm just, it activated.
I get it.
The older sibling, like sleeper cell in me.
Yeah. Where you're like,
and I felt like rage.
Yeah, I get that.
That's
an appropriate response.
Yeah. So they are in the woods one day and they stumble across a treehouse. Pause. Are you going in the treehouse?
Yeah, for sure. At this age, yeah.
Absolutely not. I'm sitting there like, I got to that point, the decision point, and Annie's like, let's go up the treehouse. And Jack was like, hey, we don't know whose treehouse that is. And also, what if there's like even when I was a kid, I probably would have thought, what if there's like a crazy like witch up there?
Abigail, we used to hang out in Emma's neighborhood graveyard. I feel like a treehouse, if it looks in good condition, you wouldn't have climbed up and just peeked in there.
I just feel like I would have been like, I don't know.
If it's not on if it was like in someone's yard or something, but if you're just in a public forest,
even worse. I would have like at least like throw something up there first to see if anyone's in there.
I would make someone else. I would make Emma climb up there and look in the door and make sure no one's in there and that it's safe. But like I would have explored it. Probably.
Annie's just like, let me get on the ladder.
Yeah,
which by the way, it's probably rotten. The whole thing is whatever.
You need an Annie friend, though. That's what I'm saying.
No.
She brings balance. Because otherwise, Jack, he's just sitting at home.
No, Jack is doing his research.
Well.
And finding out if things are safe. And also, he's the one who's always getting them out of situations. Because he's like, well, let me actually read the book and find out how to get out of this castle.
Yeah. Correct.
Anyway, so they go up into this treehouse. And there's hella books up there. and they're all from different places. And the place that they live is like called like Frog Forest or something.
Yeah.
In Pennsylvania.
Irrelevant.
And there's like a book for that one. But then there's a bunch of other books too, about like castles and dinosaurs and
all kinds of books.
Yeah. So if you open, they discover that if you open the book, you wish that you were there. You say like, oh man, I wish I was there. You get transported there.
Yes.
So this is like a cute metaphor for like a book can take you anywhere.
Yeah, it's cute.
I would personally be freaking out if I got sucked into a book and all of a sudden I was in dinosaur land.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
So Jack had the correct response here.
Yes.
Annie's just like, hee, like, let's go pet dinosaurs. Like, you have 2 brain cells in your head. I would just be like, sorry, I'm going home.
Yeah. Like, I wish I was home. Yes.
So that's basically what happens, like, in all of the books. Then they find a medallion when they're in the dinosaur land that has an M on it that belongs to some mysterious person they don't know.
Yeah.
And basically Annie is always convincing Jack to go back to this treehouse and go to different places. Yeah. And then she gets them into trouble.
Yeah.
Because she's never actually read a book in her life. So she doesn't actually know about any of the danger in the world. And she's just relying on her older brother to take care of her and make sure that she can get all of her nonsense.
Okay. I think I had a different experience with Annie.
Okay. What's your experience with Annie? Because
she was very nice in my book. Okay, I get it. She's grown up. I read later books in the series. Okay. So I read in full the one book. I read, hold on. Sorry. I want to get the number book that is in the series. Okay. It's the 21st book in the original series, Civil War on Sunday. And I picked this because I figured if there's any problematic stuff, it's going to come out in this
Civil War.
And luckily, guys, here to report, this is safe to read with your kids.
Yeah, Mary Pope Osborne seems like she's with it.
She seems chill. Yeah, the books were inspired, I guess, by her travels around the world. That's what I learned. And she like wanted to teach kids about stuff. So anyways, Civil War on Sunday, the same thing, the lights flashing, a treehouse appears, they go. In the middle of this book, they're in the middle of a story arc where they're trying to help Morgan Le Fay, this magician, save Camelot, which is a place that they have visited in a prior book. And so Morgan sends him a note with the treehouse, and she's like the one in charge of the magic treehouse.
And she's the one who owns the medallion.
Yeah, she's the medallion owner. She sends him a note and says they need to find 4 things: something to follow, something to send, something to learn, and something to lend. Apparently, if they find these things in writing, then they can bring it to her and that will save Camelot somehow. I don't really know how the magic works, but anyways, they find a book on the Civil War and they're like, okay, great, fun. And so they go back in time to the Civil War and they do land. This was the first good sign among Union soldiers. So they are
Stephanie Meyer, take note.
Yeah. Jasper's not there. He's on the other side of the battlefield. So they land with the Union Army, and they're in a field hospital in Virginia outside of a battle, and things are bad. And Annie's like, we can help. Because they read in the book that women...
Yeah. Okay, that didn't piss you off?
No, because they read in the book that women served as nurses during the war. This was the first war where women worked as nurses. Before then, it was all men. And she was like, this is great. We could be of help. Let's go volunteer. And Jack's like, we are kids, you dumbass. And she's like,
my freaking man.
So then they, this lady, Miss Random Nurse lady, gives them a list of things. Like, again, this is like, okay, this is not really helpful, lady. But she's like, here's how to be helpful as a nurse. And the list says, it's not like how to do CPR. It says, be cheerful, lessen sorrow, give hope, be brave, put aside your own feelings, and don't give up. And Jack's like, that doesn't seem helpful. Which, okay, fair. Also, he says, oh, brother, all the time. That's like his catchphase. He's like, oh,
should have been like, oh, sister.
Yeah, he's got the blame wrong. Okay, so then they go into a tent. And they're giving lunch to the soldiers. So they have like water and like bread and potatoes or whatever. And then the second tent they go to is all Black soldiers. And the soldiers are super grateful. They're like, thank you for feeding us. And then they learn about slavery because one of the guy's like, oh, he's like, Jack's like trying to help. He's really nervous and like shy, and he's like scared to say anything. But finally he's like, don't worry, you're going to be back with your family soon. And the guy's like, oh, I don't have a family anymore. Like, they sold them. And he's like, what? They sold them? And he's like, yeah, actually I was a former slave. And I came here to, like, I ran all the way here barefoot to let them know that the Confederate army was coming. And now I fight for them. And they're like, oh, period. And so then Jack's like, okay, I can do this. Like, I can give him hope. And he says, this actually made me choke up. He says, one day your great-great-grandchildren will be doctors, they'll be lawyers, they'll be teachers, they'll be principals. And like, one day your people will be free. And like, he tells himself, and the guy's like, can you tell the future? And he's like, kind of. And the guy's like, thank you so much. Like, I needed to hear that. And it was really like, oh my God. Then they meet Clara Barton. So that's like a thing. They meet a lot of historical figures in these books. And this one, Annie's like, she's kind of smart. She's like, hey, Jack, you don't know who Clara Barton is, you idiot. And so then Clara takes them to the battlefield. And they're like, we got to go pick up some injured people. And so they pick up some injured people. And they pick up a Union soldier and a Confederate soldier. And they're like, is this okay? And Clara says, like, basically, things aren't that simple. You know, we're going to help who we can. If there's someone injured, we're going to help them. Which I'm like, okay, well, you know.
Like, how far
I
does
get
that
it.
go?
And then she says, this is the quote I wrote down.
A few people, if they were injured,
like, leave them on the field. But it's just little guys. They're both, like, young kids. And she says, all wars are cruel. People feel they must fight for causes they believe in, but they soon discover that war is not about glory and fame. It's about misery and terrible pain and sadness. I was like, whoa, this is low-key very deep for a children's book. So then the last thing they do is they take care of this drummer boy, and they learn about drummer boys, which apparently the Civil War was the last war that drummer boys fought in. And I didn't know that. And they're like, this drummer boy looks just like you, Jack. And he's like, I know, he could be my brother. And then they go back, they help them, and they get the list of to-dos is the thing to help, which is like step 1, or something to follow. That's the first thing Morgan Le Fay asked for. So they're like, okay, we needed this. And then they decide to go home. Clara's like, yeah, it's time for you to go home. And they go back in the treehouse. And then when they get home, they're like, Dad, did we ever have any relatives fight in the Civil War? Which I'm like, these parents must be like, there's something seriously wrong with our kids, because they leave and they come back and they ask the weirdest questions. But their dad's like, yeah, actually, your great-great-great-grandfather John was a drummer boy in the Civil War. They're like, oh my God, you guys, that was him. We took care of him. And their mind's blown. And I'm like, okay, why does a dad know this off the top of his head? I don't know.
Because dad loves Civil War history.
That's so like, true.
That's
genealogy
like
and Civil
one
War.
One of the paths that you can choose when you become a dad is like,
that's so true.
Like
the Civil
grilling
War.
And smoking meats.
Yeah.
Like World War II or Civil War history, or like secret third option, like fishing.
Yeah. So true. Okay. So yeah, that was the book, and I thought it was really fun. I was very surprised. Like, I mean, it was kind of like intense about the war. Like, there was descriptions of their injuries and people dying, and it was very frank about slavery. And I liked the quote about wars being cruel, and like people think they are fighting what they believe in, and really it's like all kind of.
Wait, which
tough.
one is this? What's
it called? Is Civil War on Sunday. And also it does low-key have some bad reviews on Storygraph from people being like, this is kind of woke for little kids. They didn't say it exactly like that.
Magic Tree Horse Civil War on Sunday book ban. I'm gonna see if it's ever been challenged.
It probably has. Because someone was like, this is a really oversimplified explanation of the war, that the North didn't want slavery and the South did. I'm like, okay, but you know, that's kind of the thing, lady.
Oh,
especially
MG.
It has been banned.
No. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
But the first thing that came up was in our homeschool. There's a whole thread about Magic Tree House.
I am
Here's
sure
the
there
original
is.
post.
Oh my God.
I keep reading that these books are great and then that they are awful. For my research, the things I've seen about what is bad about them is that 1, the kids lie to their parents and sneak out to have adventure.
That's fair. They do sneak out. Yeah.
2, that there is some creationism stuff kind of slid in that's just confusing and not historically accurate. The good seems that it's really educational about certain historical topics, and it seems easy for kids to follow. Please share your opinions.
Okay.
Okay, people talk about like the sneaking out, whatever. That's not that big. I felt like this was more educational Narnia, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. Or like Dragon Tales, like the show, similar kind of thing. Like these two kids are transported somewhere. It's not that big of a deal. It's not, yeah, like chill. But yeah, some people in the reviews on Storygraph didn't love this one particularly.
People are like, what creationism stuff? I don't think there's any creationism.
What about in the dinosaur?
In the dinosaur one, it said 65 million years ago.
So maybe she means anti-creationism, because that's like
I think that's what she means.
They would not concur with that thought.
It specifically was like, I don't want to go someplace that's 65 million years in the past and there was no humans. It was just dinosaurs walking around.
She's like, that's not historically accurate, actually. The Earth is 10,000 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I could see this being, if you were a homeschool parent, this being an interesting. This seems like very like almost like Waldorfy. Like in Waldorf schools, they pick like a whole, like time period, and then everything you learn in all of your subjects is like about that time period.
Sure, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
I feel like it was. I mean, like I said, I learned about the drummer boy thing. I read part of the one about Abe Lincoln. Unfortunately, that is a Merlin mystery one, and those are quite long, or a bit longer. So I couldn't get through the whole thing before we recorded. But I learned. I think I knew this, but I relearned that Abe Lincoln, like, had the White House open to the public and was like, this is this belongs to the people. Anyone can come in and talk to me if they want to. And so that's how they get into the White House to have a private meeting with
pre 9/11 security right there.
For sure. Also just a completely different concept of the nature of politics and the role of the president.
Did they say anything about Abraham Lincoln being gay?
Sadly, they didn't mention that. His children are main characters.
They didn't mention Joshua Speed?
No. Not
Mary
to
Pope Osborne. What if you
How dare you?
What if you like wrote, oh my God, please. Okay, re-release the Abe Lincoln one with a new side character, Joshua Speed.
Yeah, put that in. There was some side characters, but again, I only got 40% of the way through. So maybe I'll finish it and I'll let you guys know if he shows up. But so far, no, it's just his children.
Okay. Cool.
Sadly. But in that one, they're also trying to like do a little quest for Morgan Le Fay, but it's a little more intense. So yeah, that's fun.
I think this whole like tension between the way that I perceived Annie and the way that you perceived Annie really goes back to the encounter we had when we were kids with our little brothers. And they were looking out of a telescope, like a toy telescope, pretending that they could see a naked lady.
Correct.
And I was like, no, you can't. Like, stop being dumb. Like, stop saying that you can see a naked lady when you can't.
Right. And
then you were a traitor and looked through the thing and you were like, oh my God, I can see her too. And I was like, fuck all the way off, all of you. This is dumb and stupid. Stop saying that.
That is the divide between us. Actually, we ruined our family vacation because of this. It's funny now, but
it wasn't
parents
funny then,
were like,
our parents spent thousands
hey, we were
of
just
dollars
trying to hang
vacation.
Out. Like, we're screaming at each other, crying hysterically. So it's fine. I think, too, I got Annie in a later book. In this book, she was trying to be helpful. She didn't run off so much. She did know a lot of things. Like, Jack was reading, but, like, she already knew who Clara Barton was and was, like, explaining things to Jack. So maybe Mary Pope Osborne was like, hey,
maybe she got some, like, focus group notes and she was like, okay, I gotta make her, like, 50% less annoying.
Yes. So I felt like I get it, but I'm also like, at this point, I'm accepting the rules of this world that you guys can travel magically and that everything works out every single time. So, like, Jack, loosen up a little bit,
Okay.
Relax.
This is interesting to me. I'm trying to find out where she is in her sibling order. According to Wikipedia, Mary Pope Osborne grew up in a military family alongside her sister, Natalie Pope Boyce, her twin brother, Bill. So she's a twin brother, and a younger brother, Michael. So she's like, has one older, one twin, and one younger.
So,
as a child, she lived in Salzburg.
Oh, cute.
And Oklahoma and Virginia.
Wow. That's a vastly different experience.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Shout out to you, Queen. I would recommend these. These aged well. Like we always talk about that on
Aged
Reading
well,
Line.
unproblematic in my opinion, and I think they're great for a kid to read. Like super educational, really fun, like a good way to learn about different historical topics, and they're pretty easy to read. I mean, the first one I read, the second one is a little bit more like maybe middle grades or upper elementary, but first one I read was super simple. So I think this would be a great book for a kid to read.
Love
It. This was so much fun.
Anything else to say about Magic Treehouse?
I don't think so. Let me look at my other notes. I just want to say they have sold over 130 million copies worldwide. So these are very popular, and yeah, I just think it was really fun to read. Great way to learn about history. That's
Cute.
all. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we learned something.
Thumbs
today.
up. Redirect podcast approved.
Yep. Age as well.
Yes.
Okay. Speaking of books, still on this book podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, what have you been reading recently?
Okay. I was hopeful to have a book that I could emphatically recommend, but you know how some people do like yes, no, maybe to books? These are 2 maybes. I don't think they're for everyone, but
Okay.
I do think they're for someone. So the first one I read recently was Say a Little Prayer. It is a YA book that I truly do think, unlike the book I recommended last time, which I do think is fun for all ages, this one I would say it is strictly YA, I would say. But it's by Jenna Voris. It follows a girl. Her name is Riley. And she left church basically because she stopped going to church because she came out as bi and felt like she didn't have a place there anymore. But her family continued going to church and had really good friends there or whatever. And her best friend is the pastor's daughter. And so she was like chill. She was just like, I just don't think I belong here anymore. And then her older sister, it comes out that her older sister had received an abortion. And her pastor publicly like shuns her and excommunicates her from the church and like does this in front of everyone. So Riley now hates the church, like deeply hates the church, hates the pastor, hates everyone there. And she hears someone who used to be her sister's friend talking badly about her sister, and then slaps her in school and ends up getting in trouble. And so the principal's like, we're going to either suspend you and you can't participate in the like spring play, which she's like starring in or whatever, or you can go to the churches, which I'm like, is this school should be doing this? But your other option is you can go to the church's like spring retreat and write an essay about what you learn and like try to become a better person.
Okay.
Yeah.
What?
And so she obviously chooses that because she's like, I have been rehearsed. Like, they are counting on me. I am the star of the show. I can't not go to the musical or whatever. So I'm going to go to this retreat. But then when she's there, they're learning about like the 7 deadly sins and like the 7 virtues or whatever. And she's
how
like,
old is she?
She's like 17, 16, 17 maybe.
Okay.
She's in high school or whatever. She's like, I think it's her junior year of high school. Like she has
Okay.
1 more year. So she's like, I'm going to commit all 7 deadly sins this week. And I'm going to prove to everyone that like, it's not that bad. It's not that big of a deal. And so that's her like mission. And also she's kind of in love with her best friend who is the pastor's daughter again, which is a very precarious situation to be in at church camp. And like, look, this was fun. It was fun. It was fun. I'm just like, I don't
Is it
totally.
good?
It was good. I don't totally know who this is for because I feel like it's almost for people like us who grew up in church. Like there's a lot of like inside, like, oh yeah, that's exactly
Inside
what
baseball.
it's like. Yes.
Is it like a kind of like a journal entry? I mean, this book is like more like a.
Yeah. And it has a nice, like in the end, she's kind of comes to this conclusion where she's like, hey, maybe people at church aren't all bad and I can still be friends with these people. But this pastor is like cartoonishly evil. And I think it's realistic because it's like, hey, we're still in high school. There's nothing we can do to like change the situation, but we can like support each other and be there for each other. And like she has a really good group of friends in it and it's funny. But I'm like, I don't know. It feels very YA, but also it feels like written with people like us in mind. And that was a little weird for me, but I do think it's good. And I think like if you're a kid who has been excommunicated from your church, or you feel like your friends have abandoned you because maybe they don't agree with you in some ways, I think that would be who this would be for. So
yeah, I think
that's
an
number
important
one.
YA book. Yeah,
Very. And it was good. It was, and literally the best part of this is the chapter titles. Some of them are so funny. So I really encourage you to at least pick it up and check out the chapter titles because they're very, very, very good. So that's number one. Number two is called Real Life by Brandon Taylor. I just went through this yesterday and I read it one day. It's tough. So I'm going to say, please check the content warnings on this if you choose to read it. It deals with some things that were tough to read about. But it follows Wallace, and he is he's in graduate school, and he's originally from the South. He grew up very poor in the South in Alabama, and he's like, I have to get out of here. And so he ends up pursuing science and moving to like a vague Midwestern university to pursue a graduate degree. And he has this group of friends. They kind of suck. And he is like, he's also their only Black person in his friend group. And he's also gay. And so he has all these things that's like, he just feels like he's on the outside of everything. Kind of like all these things stacked against him. Like everyone here is mostly grew up wealthy. They're mostly white. They are mostly not from the South. Yeah. And like, I am the other person in every sense in this world. And so this book takes place over a weekend, and it's very intense. And he's like kind of like the whole thing, it's called Real Life. He's kind of like, I kind of want to live a real life. I'm tired of academia. I'm tired of like this world that's like not real, and everybody's like so consumed by it around me, but it's like, it's not real. I'm not doing anything real. I'm like, you know, like struggling so hard, and I'm also not happy. And it's like, I think that's a place everyone can relate to. Like anyone in their life at some point, even if it's just for a few days, has been through a time where you feel like you're struggling so hard and you're also not happy. And it's like, what am I doing with my life? Yeah. So that's kind of where he's at. He just like, a lot of things happen. He deals with a lot over the course of 3 days. And I would say, again, please check the content warnings. But this is a finalist for the Booker Prize, and it is very well written. And me personally, I've been realizing how much I really like literary fiction and books about complicated people. That's been this year.
Big lit fic year for me too.
Totally. And so this was really good. I really liked it, but it was really, really tough to read at times. And it takes place over 3 days. It will not leave you in a place where you're like, oh, I feel like he overcame, like he figured it out. Like he's not going to. So if you're not cool with that, I wouldn't read this. But I think it is very like relatable to like if you've ever felt on the outside of a group of people, or if you've ever struggled with what you want to do with your life, or who you are, like your identity, your relationship with other people, your upbringing. There's a part where he talks about like he's in this sort of weird relationship with someone during the course of this weekend, and the person asks him like, tell me about yourself. Like, I don't know anything about you. I don't know anything about your past. Like, you never talk about yourself. And Wallace is like, no, like that won't help you know me. Like if I tell you that, you're not going to know me any better. You're just going to like feel bad for me, or you're going to like have weird feelings about the things I've been through. But that version of me had to die when I came here. And this is a new person now. Like I'm not the kid who grew up in the American South. Like I'm not that person anymore. And it's like, you can see how Wallace thinks that's true. And also how it's not true at all. Like how everything he does is affected by his childhood and the things he's been through. And so I thought it was really good. It's very tough to read. So just please go into it knowing that, and like that it is a complicated character.
It's kind of like what I said about Chain Gang All-Stars the last episode. It's like, yes, super tough. Like don't read it if you're in a bad mental health space. Please. Do not. Please. But
call 988. I really liked it. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Be cautious, but have fun. And let me know if you read it. Anyways, these are both maybes. Both maybes. Not emphatic recommended. I'm hoping that the next
recommended with conditions.
Yes, with care for specific people.
Got it.
Okay, what have you read recently? A lot, I hear.
Well, I've been reading a lot. So I think on our last episode, I said, hey,
I've been reading a lot.
Trying to close my gap for my reading goal. And last time I was 4 books behind, and today I am 1 book behind, which I would like to say
wow.
it's kind of hard to do when your goal requires you to read like 2.5 books per week or whatever.
Yes, that's a big overcoming. Yes. Well done.
So this week but still this week, in order to like close the gap, I have to read 3 books, you know, because I have to read the 2 I'm supposed to read plus the 1.
Yeah. You still have to keep catching up. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, I've read some great stuff, some okay stuff, and some really bad stuff. Where should I start?
I think, due to my non-emphatic recommendation, that you should start with the bad so that we end on a really high note.
I'm going to do bad, middle, top.
I think that's the right thing to do.
Okay, bad. I don't know. Okay. I finished This Morning, Totally and Completely Fine by Alyssa Sussman.
Yes.
This was my lowest rated book of the year. And unfortunately, I did finish it because I was like, because it was a quick book. Like I was reading it quickly. And about halfway through, I was like, I know I don't like this book. But again, I'm trying to dig myself out of this.
Sure.
So I was like, you know what? Let me just finish it. Whatever. Like, and it was like fine at parts. But by the end, I was just like so annoyed. So this is a companion novel to Funny You Should Ask. So Funny You Should Ask is the one that's the celebrity romance with Gabe Parker and Hani. Okay. And this is about Gabe's sister, who is a widow and a single mom. And so Gabe and Hani are both in the book.
Okay.
But not featured prominently.
Sure.
But it's, same universe. So it's a companion novel.
Okay, I didn't
You
know
don't
that.
have to read the first one to read this one, but it would help. Mm-hmm. And it does not hold a candle at all. So I really liked, and I was actually thinking, I was going back to what I said on our last episode, that I don't like plot-driven contemporary romance. And this was plot-driven contemporary romance with no extra something or other.
Sure.
I'll just kind of quickly, like, this is a book about, it's told in like 2 different settings, goes back and forth from the past to the present. In the past, she's talking about how it's like recounting the story of how she fell in love with her late husband, who was her brother's best friend. So there's like childhood love, you know, the whole time he's going to die. And honestly, like by the end of the book, that was the only story I was invested in. The main love story of the book, weird. I didn't care about because it didn't feel anywhere near as significant as the original, as her husband and the father of her child. It was age gap. It was one of those books where you end the book and you're like, there's absolutely no way they stay together. This makes absolutely no sense. He's also a celebrity who is 11 years younger than her, at the top of her career. She owns a craft bookstore in Montana, in a small town in Montana. It just like wasn't good, dude. Like, unfortunately, it was 2 stars.
Tough.
Like, it just wasn't good. And it's like, I felt like I was never at any point invested in the main romance at all.
Yeah. That's a weird choice, first of all, because like, I don't know. I struggle. Like, I can't read about thruples. I don't like the white shoes. I don't like it when there's someone from your past and someone from your present you're choosing between. So, like, I don't like it when there's any other love interest involved. I don't really like love triangles. You know what I mean? Like, so that feels weird to, like, spend that much time of a book that's ostensibly a contemporary romance focusing on a relationship that's not going to pan out. Like, that's weird.
Well, I mean, it's just, like, also, I'm always going to choose like the spouse. I mean, you know, he passed away.
But it's not even a choice. That's even weirder. And it's not even a choice.
If it was well done, it could have worked, because it could have been a book about grief and like how you can't compare relationships and like the love lives on, but there's also new things in the future. But it's just never, like, it felt like 75% of the way through the book, they were like finally getting to know each other. Like like finally having like real conversations. The book starts out and they're like hooking up.
Yeah.
Like, the second chapter or something like that. So
weird.
It's just like, it just wasn't good, dude. And I just think like, I'm really getting worried she was a one-hit wonder.
I think she was, because she's essentially a fan fiction author who got published. The book she wrote originally was a real person fan fiction about Chris Evans. And like, I don't think I think she found something real in that story, which was compelling. And like, she took things from a real life event. And I felt the same way about her second book which didn't even have a third person. And I just felt totally uninvested in the main relationship. I didn't think they were even good together. Like, there was no chemistry between them.
And this one was worse. It was worse.
So I'm worried about, I think I'm out on her.
Yeah. I wasn't like, from the first one, I was auto buy. And now, then like her second one, I was like, I'll give her a third chance. Like maybe she was in a sophomore slump. It wasn't good. And I also think she has other books. I think she has a YA series, but like of her adult romance. Anyway, moving on from that. That was the bad. That was the bad. It wasn't good. Okay. Medium. I read the first 2 books in the Crowns of Nyaxia series, which is a romantasy series. The Serpent and the Wings of Night and the Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. I found the first one in my little free library and I was like, cool, whatever. Why not? It was like pretty good. Mm-hmm. Like it was pretty good. The second one was less good. It was still pretty good. Yeah. I'm probably not going to keep reading them, but it was a fun little romantasy snack. And if you were in the mood for like a pretty good romantasy, it was vampires.
Ooh, that's different.
Yeah. So that was fun. It was
theme.
It was in a vampire world. So that was interesting. So yeah, it was fine. Pretty good. Next, moving into my next tier. I read Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe. Mm-hmm. This is a historical romance it's like a extremely banned book. It is set in the 50s in San Francisco, and it's about a young first generation Chinese American gal, and she is gay. Mm-hmm. And she's figuring out that she's gay because there is a club in town in San Francisco that is like a lesbian club. She finds out about it. She has a friend at school. She falls in love with a friend. And it was really good. Like, it has all sorts of awards. Like, I knew it would be good.
Yeah, I've seen that around. So, yeah.
And it was. And I thought it was really interesting. Like, the perspective of being gay in the 50s, but also in San Francisco, which is like the birthplace of being gay. Not really. It was just a good reminder that queer people have always been around and will be around. Yeah. It was a really good book and I really enjoyed it. That was like 4.75 stars.
Oh.
Okay. 5-star echelon. Here we go. I'm trying to I know I have a lot here, but they all have to be talked about.
The people need to hear this. Yeah.
Okay. I read Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. That was the one I talked about last episode, like something I'm looking forward to reading.
I put it on hold based on you just being looking forward to it. So
yeah, I don't want to say too much about it.
Sure.
What I will say about it is it wasn't quite what I expected, but in a good way. Mm-hmm. It's kind of told. It's told from like first person POV in kind of like a stream of consciousness way.
Sure.
So if you hate that, you'll hate it. But it's kind of like, you know, she'll the main character, Kath, will be like, anyways, the reason I told you about that is because of this. It's like she's recounting the story of her life.
Like breaking the fourth wall.
Yes. Oh, she's talking directly to the reader.
Okay.
Anyways, you're probably thinking, why would I tell you that? You know.
Interesting. Yeah.
So it's the story of how she also last episode I was like, this place called Hailsham. Hailsham. It's Britain. Okay. So
sure.
Hailsham. The school that they grew up at, and you're trying to figure out, like, you don't have all the information right away. Like, she slowly breadcrumbs information about why they were at this school, what's happening, what happens in the future, what's going on with them now, and you very slowly get the clues. I absolutely do not want to ruin any of it for you.
Okay.
But just to say, it was, and it's also, it's like, it's actually, I was a little bit wrong about the genre. It's like speculative fiction and sci-fi.
Okay.
Set in 1990s England.
Ooh. Okay.
1970s to 1990s. It was really good. It was one of those where after I finished it, I like immediately Googled Never Let Me Go Reddit.
Yeah. Ending.
Because I was like, what do people
Discussion.
think about all of this? And like, what did it all mean? And the symbolism and all that stuff. So that was really good. Okay.
Wow.
Last one.
I'll report back in several months, by the way.
Oh, God, no. Well, just let me know as soon as you read it.
Yeah, I will.
I cannot spoil anything for you, but it was not what I thought was happening. I'll tell you that.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay. Also, apparently, this is a movie. Starring Andrew Garfield, Keira Knightley.
Hello.
And what's her face? Hold on.
There's something in Andrew Garfield's IMDb that I haven't
that
seen.
has not crossed my desk.
Hello.
Do not watch the movie first.
Okay, well, it's probably not
came
good.
out in 2010.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Carey Mulligan,
fair enough.
Andrew Garfield,
I
and
like
Keira
Carey
Knightley.
Mulligan. Oh my god, it has a good reviews. Okay.
I know. The
I'll
source
check that
material
out.
is great.
Once I read it, it's on Netflix.
Yeah. Okay. I know I've been talking for a while.
Keep talking. It's fun.
Sky Daddy.
I can't wait. This is also on hold now, thanks to you. But
I need you to read this book. Okay, so I visited my family, my parents in North Carolina. I had this plane ride coming back. My mom and I had a little time to kill. I popped into Barnes & Noble, and I was like, you know what? I'm about to be on a plane ride. Sky Daddy's on my TBR.
what better time? Yeah,
This is like, I cannot imagine a better place to read this book.
absolutely.
I read that shit cover to cover in one plane ride.
My God.
I just could not put it down. And it is so weird, okay? Like, it is as weird as you think it's going to be. It is about a woman. It's told from her point of view, too. So that's really important. It's super subversive. It's going to, like, make you uncomfortable. But she is sexually attracted to planes.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the book, I feel like you kind of get this idea about, like, why? Where does that come from? Like, she talks about some of her experiences, whatever. And her belief is that the destiny of her life is her fate is to marry a plane.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for a plane to choose you and marry you, you will get into a plane crash.
Great.
And die.
I hope this woman's never on any of my flights.
Reading this on a plane made me uncomfortable because I was like, I hope the plane doesn't feel like I'm objectifying it. Like, I'm like, the way she describes...
Does the plane consent to me reading this while in the plane?
Oh, yeah. And, like, it is really uncomfortable. Like, you know, whatever. Okay, so she's also at the same time as all of this, her pursuit of, like, she believes, like, in her reality, like, she is imminently going to be dying in a plane crash.
Yeah.
All of her money is like, she doesn't spend her money because she like wants to save it all to fly on planes every weekend. Like, she's trying to find a plane to choose her. Okay. Like, this is like so
fully insane. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, you also empathize with her so much because this is from her point of view.
Right.
So
You're in her
like,
head. Like,
yeah,
that
it's
actually
like,
makes sense.
She
sure.
just believes it. But at the same time, she's actually making a really good friend who is at her workplace. And she's like opening her heart to more like people.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't want to say any more than that because I don't want to ruin anything. But it is a really, really, really interesting book. It is a lit fic. It will leave you asking a bunch of questions, Googling the ending. If you're into satisfying endings, this isn't it. You're gonna have more questions than answers, and it's gonna lead you to thinking about like the message and the meaning of the book.
I can't wait.
It is not an inanimate object romance. It is not a romance in any sense of the word. It's a book that uses a situation from like kind of a messed up person to like ask big questions about human relationships and destiny and fate.
I love that.
It was so good. It was 5 stars. Like, it might be one of the best books I've read this year for sure. Maybe one of my favorites of all time. Like, it was so good.
Okay. All right. I got to get into this.
It is so weird. Like, if you are not open to reading something weird, listener.
Yeah. What are you doing here?
Don't read this book. Like, it is really weird and it will make you uncomfortable. And reading it on a plane is a choice. Like, I kept trying to keep the cover down because there is like an airplane on the front. I was like, I'm like, I wonder if like the staff, like the flight attendants and like the captain of her, I'm like holding it close to me as I'm like, like, don't judge me.
Please, please, please.
Anyways, that's the tea.
Wow. That was so many books. I'm very impressed by you.
I have some more shoveling to do, but I'm almost out.
Yeah, you're almost there. I can't wait to hear
and
what
then
you
I gotta keep it up.
I know. Yeah. You know, lock in.
Lock in. I have another week off of work, so
yeah, you can get ahead a little bit at least.
Yeah.
Give yourself a cushion for sure.
Yeah,
I believe in you.
All right,
that's it.
Talk
to you guys next time.
We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.